Happy Sunday. Happy Super Bowl Sunday. Did I time this perfectly or what? I was like, Super Bowl Sunday. I did this last year too. Is anybody going to show up? And then, of course, this halftime show with the hip hop legends. So I'm here. I'm not going to take up a lot of time. I know that those of you that are watching the Super Bowl want to get ready for the second half, but I just have to brush my shoulders off on the timing. So that was amazing. I am Renita Alexander, the Leadership Locksmith, and this is Set It Up Sunday. So Set It Up Sunday is my weekly conversation, lesson, whatever you want to call it. It's all about setting yourself up for success in whatever way you define success. And so I am happy to be here. I hope that if you are here watching live, if you say, hey, you can give StreamYard permission to see your name. I can't see your name unless you tell me who you are. And so I usually pull up my Facebook group, but I don't have that pulled up this time. Where is it? Yeah, here we go. Okay, it's live. And I've been also this last week. I also went live on my regular Facebook page, and so it was kind of hard to see the comments from that source. So anyway. So happy Super Bowl Sunday. Tomorrow is Valentine's Day. So who do you love? Hopefully yourself. We're going to talk about some things that just help you show some love to yourself during this Black History Month. This year's theme, which I've been writing about and talking about, is Black Health and Wellness. It was designated by the Association for the Study of African American Life and History. It's a crucial issue for the African American community, which has suffered a long history of healthcare disparities. I think we all kind of are aware of that. Excuse me, let me get my glasses adjusted here. And never has that been more stark than this during this pandemic. And we know that African Americans are more likely to be hospitalized or die from COVID than any other group. And that's why one of the association's main messages this year to the African American community is to get vaccinated. But February is also American Heart Month, a time when all people can focus on their cardiovascular health. The Division of Heart Disease and Stroke Prevention of the CDC is shining a light on high blood pressure, which is a leading factor for heart disease and stroke. And they've been really concentrating on addressing barriers to health equity in communities disproportionately affected by cardiovascular disease, like the Black community. And of course, we know that's for a variety of reasons that, just fall under being Black in America. Factors that include, chronic stress related to racism. But, one of the things that I didn't know that I found out is that African Americans are more likely to have resistant high blood pressure, which occurs when blood pressure does not drop in response to medication. And so there's, more research to be done on this. And high blood pressure, by the way, it just means that the heart is pumping blood more forcefully than it need be. The other factor that I didn't know when I was doing this research is that the Black American community develops high blood pressure in life earlier than people in other racial groups. So there's a 2019 study that found that 31% of Black adults aged 18 to 44 years had high blood pressure. So, and then, of course, there's other factors that include, having a family history of high blood pressure, diabetes, other factors, but they sort of all are tied to each other. And the high blood pressure can actually impact other other factors, other diseases. So other factors that impact how high blood pressure impacts the Black community is, of course, medical racism. We have experienced, Black people have experienced, first of all, having access or limited access often to healthcare, but then, experiencing when you do have access, encountering doctors who don't necessarily listen to the concerns that are expressed by the patient. We have experienced delayed treatment, or treatment that's not necessarily appropriate to what factors that are presented to the doctor. And then, of course, the systemic racism that undergirds every system in this country. And so chronic exposure to racism, again, is associated with high blood pressure. And that, exposure, there's been studies that show that exposure to racism correlated with an increase in the risk of developing high blood pressure. So all of those things that we experience on a regular basis can impact high blood pressure, which, of course, then causes other health issues such as, dementia or stroke or heart attack or death, or even, can impact diabetes and other diseases that are impacted by maybe your ability to move, or, so chronic kidney disease is another disease that can be caused by having higher blood pressure. And so, there's things that we can do. The things that I've mentioned are not necessarily things that we can control, but one of the things that we can control is the lifestyle. So there's a number of lifestyle factors that increase our the fact that we may have high blood pressure, which includes eating a high salt diet, a high fat diet. We've already, talked about access to medical care, but also, some access. This is maybe out of our control. Having access to quality food, but something that may be within our control is exercise. And all of those things are lack thereof. The high salt, the high fat, not a lot of exercise, maybe things that we can control. And so I just kind of want to talk a little bit about those physical things that we can perhaps control during this month of Black History Month. Again, when we're focused on Black health and wellness, as well as Heart Healthy Month. And so the first thing I want to just, touch on is just movement. Now, you've heard me say in this space and then other spaces that keep moving so that you can keep moving. And so even a little bit of movement, even as little as 5 minutes of activity, which can just be walking, can have real health benefits. And then, of course, you can build up to more over time. So, and if you have a phone, you can access a workout. One of my favorite free ones that I use is FitOn. And so there's an app for that, and there's a paid version, but there's a variety of free workouts that you can access with that particular app. Now, any kind of movement is more fun if you're doing it in a group or with some other person. And so, I know that there are precautions that people are taking when it comes to group activity. And so, but if you have access to, some type of group activity that is going to encourage you to come, there's that sense of accountability that you may have with a group. When you're not there, people are looking for you. Or, if you don't want to, do a group activity, finding an accountability partner, somebody that, you can either walk with or do whatever activity that you're going to do with that person. Or, just that person to call and ask you if you did what you said you were going to do for that particular day. And so, or that particular week. So, so those are a couple of things that you can do. That, again, just the movement. We talked about sleeping. We talked about getting enough rest last week. One of the things I said is that there's a perception that as we get older we need less sleep, and the fact of the matter is we may be able to sleep less, but we don't need any less sleep. And so just yesterday I was talking as a part of a group, and just discussing ways to get ourselves prepared for sleep. And one of those things, of course, is making sure that you're hydrated. So I've already had all of my water for today. So I'm going to make sure that I just maybe have a sip to take in my nighttime meds, so that I don't, wake up during the middle of the night to have to go to the bathroom. So I've already done that. And then, making sure that we've turned the screens off, and et cetera, so that we can, we don't have that keeping us up. So I know, we still have a half of football to watch. So, but, if you can turn it off once you watch that second half of football, that's a great thing to do to help you rest. So those are a couple of tips that I wanted to share. If you've got tips, hey folks, the folks that are Girl Trek. Oh yeah, Kathy mentioned Girl Trek is a free app that they come on, I think, in the afternoons around 11:30. I know Central, 11:30, and just you're kind of walking online with a group, and they're sharing things that can encourage you to walk. So that's a great one. Thank you for mentioning that. If you've got any other ideas to encourage yourself, that things that have encouraged you to be more mindful about movement, please share those in the comments. And any other suggestions that you may have to help with your heart health during this month of this February of Heart Healthy Month, as well as the focus on health and wellness during Black History Month. Next week, I'm going to be talking about some more internal things, the stress management, the mental and emotional health that has been weighing a lot of people down during this as we complete year 2 of quarantine, of pandemic. But I really want to focus on the physical piece today. All of this, again, is going to help alleviate stress. I'm a big proponent of lifting weights, not just the cardiovascular, what we think of maybe as the fast moving, the aerobic activity, but also the anaerobic activity, which is can include resistance training or strength training. All of that is going to have a beneficial impact to your heart health. Okay, let's see. I'm a little bit early. I know we want to get back to the game, so I'm not seeing any comments other than Girl Trek. I'm going to go to my regular Facebook page and see if I can see any comments there. Oh, not seeing anything. Not seeing anything. Okay. Well, thank you for joining me. If you're here live, I appreciate you being here. And please feel free to comment whenever you take a gander at this particular video. They're always open to new ideas. And one last thing before we go, of course, tomorrow is Valentine's Day. And so I hope you're showing yourself some love with regard to how you're taking care of your heart and how you're taking care of the person that you love the most. And so if you're doing something decadent for Valentine's Day, it's okay. Enjoy that, and then get back on track the next day with, the healthy eating as well as the movement. So I'm going to say good night for the rest of the night. Enjoy. If you're watching the Super Bowl, enjoy and have a lovely Valentine's Day. Good night.